So check it out. I just got this in. I just found it like since this eruption in 2025 is supposed to be happening. What we see now is them deploying new tsunami buoys in different areas, which we'll give you those areas here in a few about what they're deploying it at. So this has just been built up like a little bit after December. They started doing this, and it's because what we have now in the making is this scenario at hand right now that's going to affect us at a large scale. The Mile Wide volcano is set to erupt at HCOC Mount, 300 miles off the coast of Oregon, which basically the base could cover the size of Austin, Texas. The magma reservoir, they found some stuff happening here. You can see on map all the way up to Canada will be affected. But don't think it's just the West Coast. If the tsunami advisory come, what you saw on screen is exactly what it would look like. It's not just the West Coast though, because these new tsunami network systems that they're putting under the water, we'll tell you the depth of it. It's not even on the West Coast. That's what's interesting. So this right here is going to be important as a community for us to know and for our families to know, because this is a world situation. And now we understand why just months ago, actually my bad, not even months ago, it was in December, whenever they had this situation right here. Officials urged Oregonians to practice emergency preparedness following tsunami warning. And then remember, they had announced that, yeah, it was a tsunami situation that they were actually monitoring. That all happened just not even that long ago. So it gives us the insight on the situation.
An earthquake off the coast, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Eureka, California, triggering tsunami warnings up the California coast and into the Oregon.
All right, so moving back into the scenario at hand, if you're here right now, you're live, I appreciate you. And it's the psycho scientist, I think, that he's like, oh, happy about this happening. Why in the heck would you be excited? I'm going to show his face, as a matter of fact, after this. HCOC Mount, a massive underwater volcano located near 300 miles off the Oregon coast, is showing signs of imminent eruption. This is 3,600 foot tall volcano, which spans about 1.25 miles across and sits 4,626 feet. Mike Poland, a scientist at the Yellowstone Observatory, expressed excitement about this event. Why are you excited? That sounds psychotic. That sounds murderistically happy, like that's something like that. This guy right here, he's happy. How many people think this man has issues right here? Look at it. That's his name. He's on the observatory team, the U.S. Geological Survey, and he's excited that hundreds and thousands of people will have to potentially evacuate, and this is going to cause another exodus scenario as well. But that man right there has issues. Look on screen here. Apparently, there's more volcanoes off along East Coast areas as well than we know of. And this is a map that was put out a while back, Pearson Prentice Hall, Inc. So the effects here, and then off the coast, there was another thing that we're not even paying attention to. And I'm going to give you the details on the buoys being installed as well. We're not even paying attention to what this guy pulled up. HCOC Mount made dust Pacific Northwest. The yellow pin marks the location of a potentially explosive volcano. Is located in the Pacific Ocean, 375 miles west of Mount St. Helens. And that one he's talking about, which you can see right over here from the West Coast, that actually is one of them that was connected to the other one, which we was talking about how the future U.S. map. Remember, we showed a map of how the U.S. would look in the future, and it was water everywhere. And so we'll get into everything else, and I want to hear your dreams in the comments about what you've seen, because I'm going to talk about that later, but we're going to talk about the details at hand really quick. So check this out. Scientists deploy tsunami sensing buoy aiding future warning system. January 27, 2025, this was put out. There is often little warning when a tsunami strikes, but research team at USF aims to improve forecasting of these hazardous events for communities that are most at risk. Now, when we look at this, we will say, well, the communities most at risk, isn't that the West Coast? Well, in these reports that we're going to read here, it doesn't say the West Coast. It actually goes a little bit like it says that this is deployed in Florida. And as a matter of fact, it's in South Florida, as you can see on screen here. We'll play a little bit of audio with the video here to let you hear just a little bit what they're saying. I mean, I don't even know if they were saying anything on that video, but this is where they were deploying it at. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to read information on the deployment of this and everything else that is basically happening. So I'm going to pull it up on screen here in just a second for you to see. Now, here it is. The Shallow Underwater Buoy System is a research partnership between USF and Geoscience College of Marine Scientists. Now, they've put this down about 650 feet. I think it says, born from the need of monitor forecast earthquake in shallow coastal waters, designed to measure seafloor, such as strain and release process at depths of 650 feet. Yeah, okay. The latest versions were deployed in mid-December at 2 locations on the West Florida shelf of the Gulf of Mexico. Although the region is not prone to earthquakes and tsunamis, it serves as a valuable testing ground for such a system before deployed in more seismically active locations around the world. The seafloor of the West Florida shelf, including Tampa Bay, is essentially static, said Jay, law researcher, scientist at Ocean Circular Lab CMS, who has been heavily involved in projects since its inception. So the purpose of these things, they're saying, is they're trying to measure background noise, and so that they can get more intel on the waves and the ocean movement, so that when all this starts to happen, they can give people a further, faster development of tsunami warning. My only problem with that situation is I feel like only the rich and the powerful are going to get the warning system first when all this is deployed. And there's still more to that video. I didn't show it all. When this get deployed, the question is, just like the fires in different areas, this notification usually is sent out to the rich and powerful, right? Don't y'all think that for the most part, this is going to be sent out to them? Give me a yes if they're going to give us a warning. Give me a no if you think they're not going to give us a warning. I think that's how it's going to go. Is some scientists that's literally moved out of Oregon areas, out of California areas, because they already knew this was coming. I was just watching an interview of one of them talking about this. So the thing is like, as a community right now, when you see this, they told them to get ready. They told people to prepare in Oregon. And obviously you should know what it details. Now, I wanted to hear some of the scenarios that people see themselves in kind of like the dreams. Now, on the other side of this volcano, on the other side of that situation in 2025, we told you the fourth turning and the seasons and everything that comes along with the crisis. We've already hit that point, and I want to pull that up on screen. Stock market hit a big low today as well. The fourth turning where we hit the crisis. So we get this amount of years before the next crisis, and this has happened between World War I, World War II, World War III, and you can say we're in kind of the fourth of the world wars right now. Something else that's happening here. Look right here on screen what we saw. There's WC-135s that are basically nuclear explosion detecting samples, and they call weatherbird sniffers. They're used by the United States Air Force. They're actually flying to DC as we speak right now. Supposed to land like around 3:11, I believe. So this is on radar, and it's like they had these things out before the inauguration, but now they're doing it after the inauguration as well. So, and keep in mind the anomalous health events that was detected in the atmosphere just recently. We don't know anything about that right now. So maybe they're still looking in the atmosphere after they got their report. It was taken down. There was a 404 error on the White House website. But as of today, that is a flight that is happening right now. So now on these updates and all these events and everything that's happening, the West Coast is sure in the far-fetched line of these systems, but showing you right now, if you're looking on screen, we're showing you they deploy some new tsunami sensing systems. And everybody here on the channel says they believe this is just going to be for the rich and powerful, and we're not going to get an alert of this stuff. You can't trust them at this point, and especially when you got scientists telling you they're excited about this. So psychopathic, but the thing is, the community here of people, you're very smart, you're very wise. If you believe this is important, you share it out to everybody. I mean, across the West Coast and in Canada, you're in the line of this thing too as well. Now we don't know how far this is going to go, but when you read a lot of this is why I don't believe they're going to alert us, because I'm reading it right now and it says that, oh yeah, this is really an imminent situation, but at the same time, scientists are not worried about it. That sounds like the biggest lie ever. Tell me what you think. How are you going to tell us it's imminent, but then tell us that, oh, we're not worried about it? No matter what, you should always put that prayer. Prayer changes condition is what my mom always said, and that's the thing about all of this. So my voice being delayed looks like. Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, I'm appreciating all y'all for tuning in, and please get this